Okay, let's dive in. Today we're really digging into something I think a lot of us grapple with, maybe quietly. Those, heavy feelings, apathy, despondency, especially when you've faced setback after setback.
It's that feeling of just running out of steam. And you shared some really interesting source material with us that actually outlines a kind of step-by-step way through it.
Exactly. So our mission, really, for this deep dive is to unpack that material. We want to pull out the most actionable insights, maybe some surprising bits too.
Right. Think of it less like theory and more like a practical guide. It's all drawn directly from what you sent over, aiming to give you a clearer path forward if you're feeling stuck like that.
And something the source hits right away, which I think is crucial, is that feeling this way, it's not like a personal failing. It's presented as a totally normal human response to difficult stuff.
Absolutely. The power isn't in trying to just, squash those feelings down. It's more about understanding how to navigate them. The guide talks about intentional mindset shifts. Self-compassion is big too, and taking strategic action.
So the first step, according to this material, is really just acknowledging the feelings.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about jumping straight to fixing things. It's acceptance first. The suggestion is to actually name the feelings. Maybe you journal it, maybe you talk about it, just getting it out there so it doesn't sort of fester and paralyze you.
Okay, I get that. So you acknowledge it. Then the guide moves towards reframing failure itself, right?
And there's a phrase in there that really stands out. Viewing failure as feedback.
Failure's feedback, okay.
Yeah. So instead of seeing a setback as this final verdict on your abilities, you treat it purely as data.
Like, okay, this happened. What information can I pull from this? What do I adjust?
Precisely. And it emphasizes that struggle is just, well, it's part of the process. It's not some weird detour. The path to anything meaningful usually involves stumbles.
So the difference maker isn't avoiding failure, because you probably can.
Right. It's about persistence. But persistence informed by, reflecting on that feedback. And this is where celebrating small wins comes in.
Ah, the small wins.
Yeah, even tiny ones. Just showing up, taking one little step. That counts, according to this source. It helps rebuild momentum.
Okay, so acknowledge, reframe, celebrate small wins. What's next? The source dives into tackling the negative thoughts.
That negative narrative that apathy really feeds on, the guide suggests kind of confronting those thoughts directly.
How so?
Like maybe literally writing down that thought, I'll never get this right, or whatever it is, and then actively looking for evidence against it. Past efforts, things you did learn, even if small.
Countering the narrative with facts, basically.
Yeah. And addressing that feeling that defeat is permanent, that's a heavy one.
It really is. What does the source say about that?
It offers a really powerful conscious reminder. Feelings of defeat are temporary. Even when it feels all-consuming, just remembering its nature that it will pass is a key shift.
That makes sense. Reminding yourself it's a state, not a destination. Then it looks like the guide pivots back to purpose.
It does. Why did you even start this thing? And it's okay if that why has changed, you can redefine it. But if the core reason is still there...
Then what?
The advice is simple, maybe deceptively so. Do one tiny thing linked to your values. Just 5 minutes on something that matters to you. A tiny micro-action to reconnect.
Which seems to lead into adjusting your strategy based on that failure's feedback idea.
Exactly. If something's not working, brainstorm alternatives. And the source actually suggests lowering the bar a lot. Setting absurdly small goals.
Absurdly small, like what?
Like write one sentence or look up one phone number. The point isn't massive progress. It's just breaking the inertia, building any momentum.
And I saw a really practical tactic in there too. Do the opposite.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. When apathy is screaming, stay still, do nothing, withdraw.
You intentionally do the opposite. Even if it's tiny, take a quick walk, tidy one little corner.
Right. It's about disrupting that pattern. Creating simple routines can also help prevent getting stuck in that rut.
Of course, none of this happens easily if you're completely drained.
Yeah.
Self-care comes up too.
Absolutely fundamental, according to the source. Your physical health, sleep, food, moving your body, it directly fuels your mental and emotional energy. And seeking support for mental health isn't treated as optional, it's framed as essential.
Yeah, things like mindfulness or talking to a therapist or coach. Tools, not luxuries. And you don't have to do it alone either.
Definitely not. Seeking support is highlighted as crucial. Friends, mentors, maybe a group. Isolation just makes apathy worse. Connection provides perspective.
Right. And sometimes, the source notes, maybe the goal itself needs rethinking.
Yeah, redefining success for right now. If the huge original goal feels impossible, what's a smaller, meaningful version? Maybe it's mastering one piece instead of launching the whole thing. Or maybe, sometimes, apathy is a sign you're burnt out, and pausing or even pivoting is the right move.
Okay, so let's try and pull the core message together from all this. Overcoming that post-failure apathy.
It's tough, definitely, but the source suggests it's doable. It seems to boil down to acknowledging the feeling, reframing the failure, challenging the negative track, reconnecting with your why, adjusting your plan, taking some action, looking after yourself, and reaching out.
And the real standouts from the material you shared seem to be that failure is feedback idea.
The power of celebrating small wins, actively reminding yourself that defeat is temporary.
And those really concrete tactics, like setting absurdly small goals or choosing to do the opposite.
Right. There's even that quick exercise mentioned. Just write down one micro step, one tiny thing, and then just do it right away.
Just to break the cycle.
Exactly. Apathy can feel protective, like a shield against more disappointment. But the message here is clear. You can retrain your responses. Progress isn't always big leaps.
It's the tiny steps accumulating.
Yeah. And that final point from the guide is, well, it's pretty powerful. You've survived 100% of your worst days so far.
And the proof of resilience right there.
It really is.
Yeah.
So maybe the question to leave you with is, considering that innate resilience you already have, what's the very next micro step you could take? Maybe even right now.